I feel bad for creating all this chaos, but at the same time, like, I love it.
One, it's super weird that you're out here acting like you and Jen are married. Number two, you have no idea.
Oh, we're in the same clothes from the club. I'm just like, ah. I don't know if he's trying to be romantic right now or just hang out, but it's kind of awkward.
I'm not gonna get up and move just because this guy says to move. Who is he? Like, bro, this ain't your girl or your wife. And she told me to sit down.
Really?
It makes me feel so sick to my stomach that both of them can act that disgustingly. I mean, they're definitely gonna no questions asked.
It's a different story. It's not like I'm using Rob to, make him suffer or something like that. No, I'm not that evil.
I mean, she should be with somebody who is so much better, not you.
You think you're better than me?
I didn't think I'm better than you, but I think I'm more man than you.
More man?
Yeah, I look more man than you.
Y'all, Hunt for Love was so steamy last night, they had to put up the mature audience advisory. I am still flabbergasted at the way that Jen canoodled with Rob while Cole was just across the aisle. And I can't wait to see Cole's face when they eventually roll the footage. And then over at the ranch, Usman and Cole are ready to declare war over Courtney out of all people. That girl is so unserious. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Usman's audacity needs to be studied. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss Hunt for Love. Y'all, when they put up that warning, mature audiences, like viewers discretion, I knew what we were getting ourselves into, but I didn't know that TLC would go there. So we're gonna jump straight into it. As always, before we do, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all, we pick up at the scene of the crime, aka the bar in Tulum, where a fight has broken out between Tim and Jennifer. As you guys recall, Courtney went up to Tim. She was like, hey, Jennifer has been saying you like men, you bought her a striptease, you did this and that. Tim confronts her, they get into a yelling match. Colt comes in, Chantel comes in, World War III erupts, right? Tim just keeps yelling, get my name out your mouth, stop talking to me, let's stay out of each other's way. Jennifer keeps saying, the truth is out. That's all that I wanted. Everyone knows the truth. Eventually, they part ways. Cole has put on his Captain Save-A-Ho cape, and he goes and takes Jennifer to the side. Tim is venting to other folks, Chantel and things like that. And he expands that he bought her the dance once upon a time. There's no shame in that. He didn't do it because he's bi or anything. And if he was, it wouldn't be an issue. But what he's saying is, I bought it for her to be like a cool boyfriend, and she's here using it against me. They pan to Cole and Jennifer. Jennifer's like, he's been talking crap about me for 7 years, and I've been silent. Let's rewind a little bit. I do believe that Tim, I've said it before, definitely had a head start in the shit talking of Jennifer. He's done it in every single pillow talk, every single appearance that he has made. For 7 years, he has. She got her lick back when she was in the season of The Single Life. She was real nasty, real vocal, and I considered that the payback. I gave her a lot of grace that season because I was like, you know what? He has been running his mouth. But then I considered that squashed at that point. You got it all out of your system. Let's let it just die with your relationship. So for her then to get on this season and to make it a point, to make it awkward and then start this, I'm not saying Tim helped himself because he too then resumed the shit talking about Jennifer. But like at this point, everyone has their hands dirty. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, honestly, this would be my worst nightmare, to be with the ex that you hate the most and I hate you the most in a place like this. And then also on top of that, I feel like the animosity is heightened with all of the alcohol that's around. But this is when we start seeing that Cole is maybe not all the way there because he starts making this about himself. He's listening to Jennifer, let out her grievances, and he tells the camera, I'm worried that Tim is going to be a problem. Like, is he watching me? Is he watching us as like his kink? Is he going to keep starting drama with Jennifer? And it's like, sir, you clearly don't even know the half of it. And he's gonna make it his business when it really has nothing to do with him, okay? Because we see Tim, Chantel is checking in on him like, yeah, totally understand why you're upset. She's definitely been talking crap about you from day one. Cole makes his way in and he's like, hey, I'm gonna interrupt this. So what happened? And Tim explains, and Cole isn't really listening. He's just like, so you went up to her first. And Tim is like, I went up to her because she's doing this. And Cole is like, well, it shouldn't be a big deal to y'all because it happened 7 years ago. Chantel is noticing that Cole keeps getting closer to Tim, so she inserts herself in the middle. And she's like, you clearly don't know anything. This is a present day problem because she is running her mouth present day. Do you comprehend? And it's honestly just really, really strange because Cole is stepping up like he's known Jennifer for ages. Like they are married and he has to protect her honor. And it's a huge overstep. And the way that he's talking, I think that he thinks that he has the moral high ground. So I'm really happy that Chantel was there because I felt like Tim was getting flustered because all of it, I think, was blown out of proportion, right? But Jennifer comes in because she's like, you guys are clearly talking about me. Like, let's exchange some stories, shall we? And Cole, who this has nothing to do with, turns to Jennifer, who is one of the main characters in this plot. He turns to Jennifer and is like, hey, you know what 10 seconds are? Like, can you take 2 of those? Yeah, like, just go over there. Like, basically dismissed her. And, like, the way that he did it, I didn't like it.
Just give us a second. That's okay.
Okay, a second.
Will you please give me, your 10 seconds. You know how long those are?
Okay.
You go take 20 of those, okay? Please.
And Jennifer did not like it too. That was the minute that lady friend dried up. She was like, ooh, I don't like what I'm seeing. She said that it brought back memories of very controlling partners. And when Jennifer leaves, Cole continues. And Jennifer then starts yelling from the background like, you act like you're such a man. All you did was send me $100. That's not a lot. You keep saying that I'm a gold digger. And Tim is like, I could embarrass you. And I am practicing restraint. Tim has spent like 7 years telling us that he has helped support her family. So I think that the truth is somewhere in the middle. I don't think that he just sent $100. And I doubt that he was supporting her for very long. But I do believe that there was more in there. And he just starts growing frustrated because the low blows are going to be never ending. And I think he realizes that this is a lost cause and he just leaves the venue. Courtney, who started this entire drama, is with Colt at the bar. And she's like, am I the drama? I kind of hate it, but I kind of love it. And I'm like, Courtney, you clearly are here by the producers, the chosen one, to do this. And while it is entertaining for television, I hope these people know in real life, she is not a good friend. Someone that gets pleasure of seeing you be in a spot like Tim was is not your friend. She knows exactly what she did. I mean, she's living in her own version of a telenovela. I mean, at one point she sees Usman and she's like, I hear I'm your number one. And he's like, you're my only one. And he's laying it on a little too thick and she likes him, but she's also trying to keep her options open. And at this point, they're packing up the vans to leave the venue for the after party. And she walks out with Colt. So Usman is like twitching, okay? Let's go back to Jennifer. Jennifer is at the bar at this point, okay? Everyone is exiting. Cole is like, oh, so do you want to go? And she was like, no. And he was like, do you want me to sit with you? She's like, no, I will go at my own pace. Thank you. She's asserting herself as like, I'm not your little puppet. You don't have to chaperone me, making the line in the sand. And she's like, excuse me, and goes to Rob, who's at the other end of the bar, okay? Or not the other end. He's like right there, but enough distance. Cole sees that she's going to Rob, and instead of just walking off, he stays seated at the bar while she's having this like flirtatious interaction. And they're getting called up to go to the van. And Cole is like, they're calling us. And she ignores him. But then Rob is like, oh, let's go. And she follows Rob. And so Cole is walking ahead of them and he keeps turning back. And her and Rob are just like in this convo. Rob is on cloud 9 because he's like, I like this girl. I've been waiting for a moment. She clearly doesn't want a moment with Cole. I'm going to take it. Messy. All of this is messy. This whole show is messy. But if I were Cole, the minute I saw Jennifer rubbing on Rob's chest and his necklaces and being like, oh, you're so cute. Oh, I like this. I like that. I would have been like, okay. My dignity wouldn't allow me to just sit around and take that disrespect. So the fact that he kept lingering, I was like, you know this girl for 2 days. You owe yourself more. They make it into the van And Jennifer specifically asks Rob to sit with her. Instead of conversing with Jennifer like she's a human being, he starts fighting with Rob, being like, man, if you sit there, that's going to be drama. Like, don't sit there. She didn't ask you to sit with her. I'm not saying what's happening is okay. What I'm saying is none of these people belong to each other. None of these people are in relationships with each other. They're on a dating show where they're supposed to be hoes, basically. Like, are they not? I just find it a little problematic how possessive people are becoming so early. And what's funny about that too is that Rob was gonna go to the different van, but then he saw that Elise was on there, so he was like, nah. And he followed Jennifer. Jennifer was like, sit next to me. So eventually, Jennifer is by the window, Rob is here, so they're like this. Cole, there's the aisle, Cole is right here. Can you imagine? And so Jennifer is kissing up on Rob's face, but Cole can't see from his peripheral. All he hears is their giggling. And Rob being like, oh, how many tattoos do you have? I would like to see them myself. Jennifer's like, oh my God, you like to play video games? And Rob is like, yeah, let's race each other. And she's like, oh my God, do you have a charger? Yeah, I have a charger. Oh yeah, let's get the charger in your room. Yeah, come get the charger in my room. Cole is hearing all of this. Mustache guy, I think, is oblivious maybe to what is happening in terms of like the dynamics. But he turns to Cole and he's like, you had a good time? And Cole is like, does it look like I'm having a good time? Hello? And in her confessional, Jennifer's like, listen, Cole and I haven't even kissed. And he's like this with me. We met 2 days ago. It's reminding me of the exes that I've had before, and I'm not trying to repeat those patterns. And I'm not saying what she's doing is okay in terms of like the optics, but I understand it. But at the other end, I'm also like, this is cruel. Like, you could have done this privately. If you want to hook up with Rob, hook up with Rob. But to do it in front of a guy that you are aware that likes you and that literally was caping for you is mean. And Cole says, I feel like this is demoralizing. I feel disrespected. And he does eventually like leave that area and goes to the back where Usman and Tiff are. But I think from that area, he could see down to what exactly is happening with Jennifer and Rob. And I think that they kind of cool it when he moves. But still, like, eesh. But Tiff said it best. Jennifer was pissed off by the way that Cole acted, the way that he dismissed her, and she wanted to punish him and she wanted to show him that he is replaceable. Usman is seated next to Tiff and he's like, yeah, I really like Courtney, but I feel like she's going close to someone else, which is Cole, obviously. And Usman has a chip on his shoulder because he thinks that he is a much better man than Colt, and he just can't believe that he would even be in the running with someone like that, someone that he doesn't consider an equal, which is astounding to me. Like, if you have to talk about your manliness every other business day, I'm not sure who you're trying to convince, us or you. And it's so interesting, right? Because Courtney is like, you know, I like Usman, but I have high standards for him because we have history. Like, basically, he should know better. And Tiff tells Usman, listen, she's liked you from day one. And he's like, oh, okay, so I got to put in more work. But he doesn't put in more work. He thinks that putting in work is just asserting dominance over Cole. And he says, like, I love her. I'm ready to take her to Africa. It's all a lie. It's all like from the mouth out. There's no heart to it. He doesn't put actual effort there. And I think everyone feels it. And it's funny because Tiff in the moment is like, yeah, totally. But then in her confessional, she's like, this man is lying. He does not care for Courtney the way that he says he does. And there's a moment that also happens in the van with Chantel and her little boy toy. I really want her to have some fun at this resort. I feel like Girly is stressed. I feel like she needs to show more of her personality. And as you guys recall, there's the guy that has like the big eyes that like made it clear that he is seeing her, you know? So they're in the van with Courtney and Elise and them. It's the party van. And Chantel has this bracelet that's like heavy beads and she accidentally hits Courtney in the head. And Courtney is like, did you hit me with your booty beads? I'm not allowed to say the real thing, I think, on YouTube, but booty beads, okay? And she's being real immature about it and just, you know, being like, ugh. And boy toy with the nice eyes is like, hey, there's no foul with having some action in that section. And everyone's like, oh. Chantel, though, is like, I can work with this. So I really want them to have some fun. I think that she needs it. So y'all, They arrive to the hotel and everyone is like chilling in this like main common area. Rob and Jen are like canoodled into each other, continuing to say like, oh yeah, so you want to get the charger in my room, and yeah, we could, you know, compete, and yeah, it's gonna be so fun. They want us to believe, okay, that these two people that have been eye banging each other for 2 days now are gonna just go to someone's room to get a charger and split ways. Please. But they get up to do that, and before Jen can get up, Cole whispers to her, "You're making a mistake." And she's like, "I'm not making a mistake, honey." And she walks off into the distance with Rob. This whole time, Elise is seeing all of this and she's like, that's so nasty of these people. It's so cruel. How could they do that to me and Colt? And it's crazy to me too that like if she would have seen what happened in the van, she would have lost her mind. What she saw in the common area was very PG. And I'm gonna switch the order for the last part real quick because I do want to cover the Jennifer and Rob and then end with the Usman-Cortney saga of it all. So we see Jen go to Rob's room to get the charger and they're kissing and you know they're being real cute, and I'm like, okay, so much for getting the charger, right? His room is a mess. So it doesn't surprise me that then when they cut to them the next time, I think they're in Jen's room at this point. She's in her cozy, sexy pajamas. They are making out, you guys, in a way that looks like they've been together for a long time. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a certain physicality, a certain level of intimacy. If it looked like that, like they have been a couple for a while. And I was like, uh-oh. And then it gets real raunchy because they're like intensely making out, like some serious humping action, okay? And then they must have gone skinny dipping because then they come back into the frame fully naked, okay? And you see obviously their parts blurred. Then they start dry humping again. And at this point it's not dry if you're naked, right? And they move it from the couch to the bed. And there is no way in the world that they did not do the deed completely. And I am honestly shocked that they showed so much of that on television. It felt like we were watching an edited corn. I have never seen something to that extent on TLC. And we will touch on that a little more the next day, but okay. So that same night, Usman walks Courtney to her room. I remember he was talking all this crap to Tiff, like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot my shot. You would think that if you really care about someone and you're gonna shoot your shot, you're going to start with a date. You're gonna let them know that you're serious, right? Right? No. Usman's version of this is to walk her to her room, lay himself on her bed with his sweaty clothes from clubbing, his shoes that I think he believes are smelly. He takes them off in her room. And I'm like, I'm sorry, are you trying to force yourself into a sleepover? And you can tell that she feels uncomfortable. Like she wants closeness with him, but she's like, I am icked out. Like she puts on a robe before getting on the bed with her club clothes. And he's like, do you want me to leave? And she's like, well, no, but also like, we're sticky. And he gets under the covers with his crusty clothes. And she's uncomfortable like this. And the vibes are just not vibing. They have zero chemistry. I don't even know how they would like each other. Personally, I don't know how that happened. But he can read that it's off and he's like, oh, do you want me to leave? And she's like, well, you know, you don't have your toothbrush. You don't have your clothes. And if he had game, he would have been like, you know what? You're right. Let's freshen up and then I'll come back afterwards. Instead, he took it so personal that she wasn't just gung-ho to be like, yes, stay, do this, do that. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to leave. And she's like, well, don't be weird about it. And he's like, no, it's not weird. As he's being weird. This man has zero game. And Courtney was like, listen, we have our nasty clothes. I'm not going to get naked and shower in front of him because there's no curtain, there's no clothes. The bathroom is exposed. So I think that, you know, it was a lot and fast and he's all talk and she's going to need a little more, you know. But certainly she wasn't going to sit here and beg him to sleep over, which is what I think he wanted. Okay? So that's all that happened the last night. The next morning, Courtney and Jen are chatting it up by the pool. Usman and Colt are on the other side, but close enough, right? And I don't know why Usman and Colt are together. Definitely arranged by the producers, right? But then Colt is like, what a beautiful view, as he points to Courtney. Okay? So Jen is filling in Courtney about everything that happened the night before, but she is lying, okay? Because she says, yeah, we cuddled all night. Jennifer, girl, no one cuddles naked with their legs open the way that y'all were. Okay? Like, we were not born yesterday. And Courtney's like, And she's like, you know what? If they did do stuff, it's probably best if she doesn't tell me because I'll tell everyone. And you know what? That's self-awareness, okay? They pan to Usman and Colt. So I'm guessing Colt was super unaware of like the actual drama that was happening last night. So he was asking Usman. And Usman was like, yeah, you know, I was with Jennifer. How do you feel about Jennifer? What do you think about her? And Colt is like, well, you know, I love Latinas. And Usman's like, so you're interested in Jen? And Colt is like, no, I'm not interested in Jen. To which Usman is like, so I see that you've been talking to Courtney. And Colt is like, yes, I like Courtney. She makes me laugh. And I think that her and I would be great together. To which Usman is like, well, you know, Courtney is my girl. Colt is like, she didn't say that. She didn't say that y'all were together. What, y'all have promise rings? So at this point, I think that Colt can read that Usman is trying to check him. And so he's poking fun at the whole ordeal. Because y'all are not together. You've been at this resort for 2 days. You had the opportunity to date her before and you didn't. Now you're trying to flex an imaginary relationship. But what I think is hilarious about this is like, if he thinks that that is his girl and that he has the upper hand, instead of marking his territory with Colt, why didn't he go over to Courtney and say good morning and have a walk with her along the beach? But it's never about Courtney. It's about himself and his ego. He doesn't care for her. He doesn't care to get to know her or ask her questions. And don't get me wrong, Colt equally sucks. I just think it's hilarious that Usman thinks that he has the higher moral ground than this or that he's a better man when that is just not true. And so I just love that while Usman is like, yeah, that's my girl, Colt is laughing in his face. And again, it's just very funny. Usman is like, you know, that's my girl. I'll do anything for her, whatever it takes. Anything for her except ask her questions. Anything for her except take her out on dates. But anything, right? And this man fixes his mouth to say, listen, Colt, if you compete with me, you will lose because out of the two of us, I mean, I am the better man. And again, he feels so insulted that he would even be considered along with Colt. Like he can't fathom that someone would even look at Colt in that way or speak of Colt in the same sentence as him. And he's insulting Colt's looks to his face. And Colt is just like, I cannot handle the stupidity that's coming my way. And so it's safe to say that this is just the beginning of the war. And Courtney is #1 instigator on this show. And she's going to milk this. She's going to love these guys fighting for her. And she's for sure going to keep it going, y'all. But that's it for the recap. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Things are certainly heating up. It looks like Jennifer is going to still keep things going with Cole. But I have a feeling that she's not going to be honest about the events that happened with Rob. And eventually Cole is going to see the footage. And the footage is raunchy. And I don't think she's going to be able to talk her way out of that one. Let me know all of your thoughts on all of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you in the next one.